Hello everyone, I'm Anas Al Ubaidi, and in this video, it's the third session from chapter 9 from the whole curriculum or syllabus of the Advanced Medical Science Liaison and Medical Monitor Certification, or for short, Advanced MSL and MM Certification course by CCRPS. And for short of the name of the for the name of the course, AMSLC certification course. And this session is the third video from the chapter 9, and chapter 9 is about the clinical trial phases and procedures. And the topic for this session is about the protocol specific monitoring and case studies. Introduction about the topic for this video. Protocol-specific monitoring is a vital component of clinical trial management. So, clinical trial management is a whole procedure, a whole process as a vital, one of the most important parts in the whole clinical trial. And the clinical trial management itself has vital components, and one of the vital components is protocol-specific monitoring, as the protocol-specific monitoring ensures that each site adheres strictly to the unique specifications of the study protocol, meaning the protocol-specific monitoring is, from its name, from the terminology itself, it's monitoring on regard the protocol adherence. So it ensures that the site that is conducting the trial adheres strictly to the unique specifications, to the unique points, to the certain points or certain specifications that belongs to the protocol that belongs to the study, that be study trial that is being conducted, thereby safeguarding participant safety, safeguarding the participant safety, enhancing data quality, and maintaining compliance with regulatory expectations. So, thereby to end up through applying the protocol-specific monitoring to in order to end up or in order to lead to the outcomes or results that we are seeking for, um, presenting by safeguarding participant safety, enhancing data quality, and maintaining compliance with regulatory expectations. Unlike one-size-fits-all models. So here it is a kind of comparison with the one-size-fits-all models, as here the protocol-specific monitoring tailors its strategies to address the particular requirements of each clinical trial. Whether it's ensuring correct dosing in a pediatric study or maintaining endpoint data accuracy in a cardiovascular trial, whether either or, this method directly tackles the protocol's most critical elements, aligning oversight with its objectives. The process is critical. The process of the protocol-specific monitoring is critical in the face of the increasing complexity of modern clinical trials, which often involve diverse populations, multi-regional sites, and intricate study designs. Monitoring must adapt to these demands, to the demands that we mentioned or we brought up as an example, like diverse populations, multi-regional sites, and intricate study designs. So such monitoring, the protocol-specific monitoring, and actually any monitoring must adapt to these demands, using tailored strategies that optimize the resources while addressing potential risks. Protocol-specific monitoring isn't just about following checklists. It's far more, as it's about proactively identifying, addressing, and preventing protocol deviations that could compromise the trial's integrity or uh, patient participant safety. For instance, as for an example, a delay in reporting adverse events in a chemotherapy trial could have grave consequences. can lead to consequences. Challenges, as for with any implementation for any application for any model or perspective in clinical trial, there are challenges. We will be facing challenges. So challenges in implementing protocol specific monitoring, such as for example of the challenges, resource constraints, investigator variability, and protocol complexities require innovative solutions. Emerging technologies, from centralized monitoring dashboards to advanced analytics, have proven valuable tools in streamlining and scaling these efforts as part of the solution, if it's not the solution itself. Now, the key points for the topic for this video, we'll start with importance of protocol specific monitoring. Why we do apply protocol specific monitoring? What's the importance, the necessity behind it? Despite of the order, we'll start with A, focused compliance. Protocol specific monitoring ensures strict adherence to the unique requirements outlined in the study protocol. As we mentioned in the introduction, the unique specifications in the protocol or unique requirements, certain requirements and specifications for each protocol, as this kind of monitoring ensures the adherence. This targeted approach helps prevent deviations. One of the outcomes, one of the achieved outcomes or wanted to achieve outcomes is to prevent protocol deviations that could lead to unreliable results or regulatory violations. Because by preventing deviations, then we can prevent or avoid whatever comes as consequences from the deviations, like unreliable results and or regulatory violations. Example, monitoring dose schedules in phase 1 dose escalation trial to ensure consistent pharmacokinetic data collection. As for example, for focused compliance. Then we have the enhanced data quality. One of the important uh, issues, one of the important um, uh, things we are looking for behind the protocol specific monitoring. Tailoring monitoring efforts to critical data collection points reduces errors and ensures high quality data across trial sites. So maintaining the high quality of data by maintaining the accuracy and the credibility for the data. Example, focusing resources on primary endpoint data collection in a multicenter cardiovascular trial to measure long-term efficacy outcomes. And this is one of the examples for many examples of enhanced data quality. Safeguards participant safety or patient safety. Uh, as we mentioned in the introduction, it is one of the goals, one of the necessities that protocol-specific monitoring provides. Protocol-specific monitoring proactively identifies and mitigates risks to participant safety or patient safety by focusing on protocol-defined key safety measures. As for an example of safeguarding, detecting and addressing allergic reactions and first in human oncology trials through focused safety monitoring protocols. We have the risk mitigation by addressing high risk areas defined in the protocol. This type of monitoring, the protocol specific monitoring, decreases the likelihood of deviations that could jeopardize the trial. And this applies to the what we recently mentioned just right now, prior to this, avoiding, preventing deviations. Because deviations might have consequences like jeopardizing the trial. So preventing that, avoiding that. Example, using predefined criteria to validate that all participants or subjects in a pediatric trial meet inclusion criteria, reducing risks of unapproved enrollments. Now, E, regulatory compliance, one of the goals or achievements that we are looking for or aiming for behind this kind of monitoring ensures the trial meets both local and international guidelines, from GCP, Good Clinical Practice, to FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, USA, and EMA, European Medicines Agency in European Union regulations. Example, aligning monitoring activities with ICH GCP, International Council for Harmonization's Good Clinical Practice standards to verify informed consent compliance during uh, participant or patient recruitment. Lack of infrastructure. So, advanced research facilities, equipped laboratories, specimen repositories, and specialized trial sites are critical for translation success. And we have mentioned this point as well on the translational research topic uh, um, uh, in the related video or session. So many regions lack sufficient infrastructure support, and this is a challenge as well, and a problem uh, that as a multinational or global international trial, that we might face different levels of availability of the infrastructure that would support the trial that we need to be we need it to be conducted. And in every region, the infrastructure availability or sufficiency is different. So the impact here, delayed studies and limited access to high quality resources. Solution translation networks, as we mentioned before, the solution establish regional infrastructure hubs such as ITRIS, as we mentioned in the previous video on the translation on the topic of translational research. European Advanced Translational Research Infrastructure in Medicine, ITRIS, EATRIS, as a solution to address one of the solutions to address the lack of infrastructure. Example, ITRIS centralizes high cost resources like biobanks for shared access. International collaboration could be a solution as well, leverage global partnerships to provide infrastructure support for low-income regions. And here, international collaboration is also mentioned as a solution for local infrastructure, and the same that has been mentioned in the previous session about the topic of translational research. So here a nice diagram summarizes the benefits of protocol-specific monitoring, safeguards participant or patient safety, enhanced data quality, and focused compliance, protocol compliance. Methodologies for protocol specific monitoring. Despite the order, but we'll start with centralized monitoring. As centralized monitoring uses data analytics and pre-established metrics to remotely oversee trial sites. The emphasis is on real-time detection of trends and anomalies across all sites. Example for centralized monitoring: a centralized system flags missed patient visits in a diabetic trial by analyzing site visit adherence data. B, as a second methodology, as another methodology, on-site monitoring. Conducting physical verification ensures compliance with protocol requirements such as correct storage of investigational products or the completeness of source documentation. As for example, verifying that temperature-sensitive drugs in an oncology trial are stored under protocol-defined conditions. We have another methodology, the risk-based monitoring, RBM. As RBM, risk-based monitoring allocates resources to high-risk areas identified by the protocol, ensuring greater efficiency without compromising trial quality. Example, prioritizing monitoring activities at sites with higher rates of patient dropout in a mental health trial. Cross-functional collaboration. So coordinating efforts between medical monitors, the MMs, the statisticians, site coordinators, and study staff enhances um, a comprehensive approach, ensuring no protocol aspect is overlooked, meaning making sure about the adherence into the protocol or the protocol adherence. Example, collaborative review meetings uncover underlying causes of abnormal lab results across select sites in a nephrology trial, as for an example. We have the monitoring plans. Customized monitoring plans provide tailored guidance on the specific objectives, timing, and methods for monitoring a given trial. As for an example, a phase 3 rheumatoid arthritis, or for short RA, trial specifies endpoints in its monitoring plan, focusing on joint inflammation reduction. Here, a summarized diagram about uh, 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 titled by choose the most effective monitoring strategy for clinical trials. We have the centralized monitoring in comparison to on-site monitoring. Centralized monitoring enables real-time data analysis for trend detection, while on-site monitoring ensures physical compliance with protocols. Now the challenges in protocol-specific monitoring. Despite of the order, we'll start with the protocol complexity. High detailed and intricate protocols increase susceptibility to deviations, particularly in trials involving niche or niche populations or rare diseases. So the more the complex the protocol that belongs to the trial is, the more risk probability uh, or likelihood there will be for the deviations. Example, missteps related to age-specific dosing requirements in pediatric studies. Solution for that could be, for the protocol complexity in general, comprehensive training tailored to staff's understanding of detailed protocol objectives. Resource allocation, another challenge, balancing the cost effectiveness of centralized monitoring with the need for physical on-site visits possess challenges. And here the solution is to use RBM, risk-based monitoring, to allocate on-site efforts to high-risk areas while maintaining broader oversight remotely. Then another challenge, we have the investigator training, and here uneven training protocols across sites in multi-region trials can lead to inconsistencies in protocol execution. And here the solution to address that, uh, uh, standardized ongoing training courses, training ongoing training courses or access ensures consistent study conduct across all geographic regions. We have the data integrity concerns as a challenge. Discrepancies between electronic and source records introduce errors, especially as protocol complexity rises with endpoints. So here, discrepancies in data that might be found uh, by any monitor, including the MM medical monitor, between the electronic and source. So electronic meaning here the EDC, the electronic data capture, or the ECRF, which is the electronic case report form, and the source, the site source, the source for the site that is conducting the trial. They do have their own source records. So when during the monitoring, there will be comparison in data, one of the roles or duties or tasks between the source and the electronic data capture, or the EDC or ECRF, and they have to be, and the data has to be matchable, uh, not not different, matchable, um, and look for any discrepancies, which we shouldn't find, but we'll still find discrepancies, of course, as monitors. Um, as monitors. Such discrepancies introduce errors, especially as protocol complexity rises with endpoints. And here the solution, integration of electronic data capture EDC systems directly linked to source platforms. This could be a good application, as the source for the sites might be electronic, as it's called electronic source or e-source, or still paper. And I have worked in both kind of site sources, the paper and the electronic. Here, the solution is suggesting that electronic data capture uh, for the sponsor directly linked to source platforms, directly linked to the site source uh, 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 portals. Uh, in this case, the site source will be electronic e-source in order to implement and apply such solution. Here, changing regulatory requirements, trials running across multi-year timelines must adapt to evolving regulatory environments, which can create unforeseen challenges. And the solution for that, implement regular updates to monitoring tools and refine the methodology to reflect current guidelines. And here, a nicely done summarized diagram on challenges in protocol-specific monitoring as we have the protocol complexity, detailed protocols, niche or niche populations, investigator training, uneven protocols, regional inconsistencies, and we have here the on-site visits, centralized monitoring, resource allocation, uh, and compared to ineffective protocol monitoring. Case studies highlighting protocol-specific monitoring. As here, case study one, cardiovascular study. The goal, monitor post-treatment cardiac events in patients with type 2 diabetes. So to monitor the post-treatment cardiac events, so the cardiac events, the cardiac uh, um, uh, outcomes, which means the heart events, as post-treatment, after treatment in patients with type 2 diabetes. Strategy will be focused monitoring on endpoint compliance by tracking predefined cardiac events through an EDC system. So here, the post-treatment cardiac events or heart events in patients with type 2 diabetes strategy will be monitoring the endpoint compliance by tracking predefined any history or pre-existence or already existed existence of a heart event or cardiac event uh, upfront in advance. How? Through EDC electronic data capture system. Outcome will be, by doing so, improved accuracy in reporting cardiovascular adverse events or effects and faster adjudication. Adjudication means stratification, meaning that classifying of the events of adverse events, classifications of the adverse events. Case study two, oncology trial, for instance, the goal is to monitor dose escalation in phase one chemotherapy study. Strategy will be implement risk-based monitoring RBM, focusing on sites with delayed SAE serious adverse event reporting. And the outcome here will be reduction in reporting gaps and improved dose escalation strategies. Case study three, we have COVID-19 vaccine trial. Goal is to conduct real-time monitoring for safety and high public safety amid or safety and high public scrutiny, enhanced retention metrics and timely corrections and monitoring schedules. And here the strategy for that, for the COVID-19 trial, centralized tracking dashboards, consolidated adverse event reporting from global sites, international sites. Outcome, so this means it's a high-scale global international trial. The outcome here will be rapid identification of safety signals, enhancing public trust, ending up by enhancing the public trust. Case 4, study 4, we have neonatal trial, and the goal minimize adverse events in trials for premature infants using specialized medications. And here the strategy is on-site monitoring focused on an ICU compliance, ensuring proper drug administration. Outcome, significant reduction in neonatal drug dispensing errors. Case study 5, behavioral study. Goal is to improve retention rates in mental health clinical trials. The strategy will be centralized virtual platforms to track deviations in participant follow-up schedules. Outcome um, uh, doesn't mention, but by doing so, the outcomes will be reduction in the errors or the bias. Here, summarized nice diagram about the protocol specific monitoring case studies as we have here. Uh, Cardiovascular study goal is to monitor post-treatment cardiac events. Cardiovascular study strategy focus on endpoint compliance via EDC. Cardiovascular study outcome, improved accuracy in reporting. Oncology trial goal is to monitor dose escalation phase one. Oncology trial strategy is to implement risk-based monitoring RBM for delayed serious adverse event, SAE sites. Oncology trial outcome. Oncology trial outcome is to reduced reporting gaps. Here are the applications in the practice. We have the topic and the application example. So cardiovascular risks, the application example, endpoint adherence monitoring and event reduction protocols. Vaccine studies is real-time AE adverse event reporting using centralized dashboards, drug accountability, on-site verification of dispensing in oncology drug trials, pediatric trials is special focus on age-specific dosing regimens, remote protocol checks, pandemic era trials conducted via virtual inspections, rare disease research. The topic, as the application example, is increasing investigator training for complex protocol adherence. Through advancements in tailored monitoring methodologies, protocol specific oversight ensures compliance, protects participants, and enhances the quality of trial outcomes, making it an indispensable part of modern clinical research. Summary tables, as we have here, table one, importance of protocol specific monitoring. We have the aspect, the objective, the example, benefit, and outcome. The aspect is focused compliance. Objective is to adherence to unique study criteria. Aspect enhanced data quality. Objective accurate capture of critical data points. Aspect is safeguards participant safety. Objective is identifies trial specific risks early. Aspect risk mitigation preempts challenges in study execution. Regulatory compliance as objective here ensures adherence to international standards. Another table about methodologies of protocol specific monitoring. Methodology, key features, application example, benefit and implement, and then implementation tools as methodology, centralized monitoring, on-site monitoring, RBM, risk-based monitoring, cross-functional collaboration monitoring plans. Challenges and protocol specific monitoring. We have the challenge, impact, solution, implementation example, and then outcome. The challenge, protocol complicity. We have resource allocation, investigator training, data integrity concerns, or regulatory frameworks. We have the case studies highlighting protocol specific monitoring. The case study, the focus area, trial type monitoring strategy, and outcome. And we spoke about case studies like cardiovascular study, oncology trial, a COVID-19 vaccine trial, neonatal trial, and behavioral study. Practical techniques in protocol specific monitoring is the technique, the application focus, example, benefit, outcome. As we have the cross functional plans, we have the remote virtual inspections, EDC, electronic data capture, linked source data. And here we mentioned that such source has to be electronic in order to be linked to the EDC. As some sites still, there are some sites still, they do exist and that they are still using paper source. Risk-based prioritization and then AI, artificial intelligence powered audits. Application table, we have the scenario, the key principle applied, key actions, timeline, and what to watch out for. A scenario here, monitoring dose adherence in a phase two diabetes trial, key principle applied, focused compliance. SAE serves adverse event tracking in an oncology dose escalation study. The key principle applied is safeguards participant safety, tracking endpoint data and cardiovascular study. Creek principle applied enhanced was enhanced data quality, ensuring compliance in NICU based neonatal studies. Um, Key principle applied was risk mitigation, real-time adverse event reporting for vaccine trials. The key principle applied was regulatory compliance. Continuing, we have the protocol adherence in global rare disease trials. Key principle applied was investigator training. Scenario of managing complex data in a behavioral mental health study. Key principle applied was cross-functional collaboration. And the scenario for reducing dropout rates in remote decentralized trials, the key principle applied was centralized monitoring. Continuing in the scenarios, we have assessing protocol violations in the regulatory submission trial. Key principle applied was monitoring plans and preventing data integrity issues in hybrid, paper, and electronic trials. And the key principle applied was data integrity concerns. Here next we'll come to some examples or a few MCQs in order to review multiple choice questions. Question one: what is the primary objective of protocol specific monitoring in clinical trials? As A, increase trial enrollment numbers, most likely no. B, enhance compliance with unique protocol requirements, unique protocol specifications, most likely. C, minimize investigator workload. No. D, skip routine monitoring visits. Also no. So it is B, enhance compliance with unique protocol requirements. As a protocol specific monitoring focuses on ensuring adherence to the trial's unique requirements or specifications, safeguarding patient, participant, or participant safety, and maintaining data quality as outlined in the protocol. Question two: which of the following methodologies is best suited for identifying patterns in delayed trial visits across multiple sites? Is it A, on-site monitoring? Is it B, centralized monitoring? C, risk-based monitoring, RBM? Or D, cross-functional collaboration? It is B, centralized monitoring. And why is that? As centralized monitoring efficiently tracks and analyzes site data remotely, making it ideal for identification patterns like delayed trial visits or data inconsistencies. Question three: what is a common challenge in protocol-specific monitoring for rare disease trials? Is it A, simplistic protocols? Is it B, inefficient communication between sponsors or regulatory agencies? Is it C, complexity, inclusion, exclusion criteria? Or D, lack of data on adverse events? As we mentioned, the high complex the trial is, or the protocol, the more deviations, probability or likelihood for deviations. And one of the high complex protocol points or sections will be the criteria, the inclusion and exclusion criteria, uh, the criteria that specifies the eligibility for a patient to become a participant for the trial. And here we have C, complexity in inclusion and exclusion criteria. As rare disease trials often have highly detailed protocols due to the specific nature of the target population, increasing the risk of deviations and requiring specialized training for trial staff. Question four: how does a risk-based monitoring (RBM) approach optimize resources? Is it A, by equally distributing resources across all trial sites, or B, by prioritizing monitoring efforts in high-risk areas, or C, by eliminating the need for monitoring plans, or D, by focusing only on source data verification? It is B, by, by prioritizing monitoring efforts in high-risk areas, meaning the monitoring process will be highly prioritized in high risk areas. Doesn't mean will not does not mean that monitoring will not be conducted in low risk areas, but it's highly prioritized in high risk areas. As RBM, risk-based monitoring allocates monitoring resources where risks are highest, such as sites with frequent protocol deviations or early indicators of non-compliance, ensuring efficient trial management. Then we have question five. Which case study highlights the use of on-site monitoring to reduce to degrees neonatal risks? Is it A, Cardiovascular study focused on post-treatment events. Is B, premature infant trial for hormone therapy compliance? Is it C, COVID-19 vaccine safety monitoring? Or D, behavioral study evaluating retention sites? So we are talking about the neonatal population. So this will apply to infant trial, premature infant trial for hormone therapy compliance. So it is B, as the neonatal trial emphasized on-site monitoring to oversee drug dispensing accuracy and an ICU an ICU compliance, addressing risks inherent in managing therapy protocols for premature infants. And here we come to the end of this session or the end of this video. Thank you very much and goodbye.